The other game 6, that would be Wemby and the Spurs. They also find themselves on the brink of a conference finals after a dominant Game 5 performance by Wemby. The Frenchman had 27 points, but was even more impressive on the defensive end as the Timberwolves scored just 9 points on 4 of 17 field goals when Wembanyama contested their shot in Game 5. That's per ESPN video tracking. So, Jay, Will, at this point, does it feel like title or bust for San Antonio?
Yes, title or bust. What a great place to be. What an opportunity, Kenny, S.A., that you have the talent to sit up there in front of all the depth that you have, in front of maybe the greatest player that the game of basketball potentially has ever seen. I'm not saying that's going to translate to accolades and things that compete with Michael and LeBron and how we categorize that, but the game has never seen somebody 7'5" that moves the way Wemby does. And the reason why it's title or bust for me, guys, is Dan Campbell said something a couple of years ago when they faced the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. After they lost, he said at the post presser, he said, like, I don't know if we're going to be back here again. So as much as people can say, oh, well, they're young, they can be. Look, I got drafted second behind a guy who was 7'5". I didn't know how long Yao Ming was going to play. Guys like that, you can have injuries. You can have a foot injury, a back injury. Things can happen because the game isn't used to having people of that size. I don't know how long Wemby can play this game. So, look, you hope that they have multiple knocks at the door. That's what any basketball fan will want. That's what all of us will want. That's what the NBA will want, frankly, because you want to see Wemby because of his size and his skill set and because how polarizing he is to watch in person and on TV to be in multiple Western Conference Finals and NBA championships. But I don't know how long that can last. So it should be title or bust right now. That's what the Spurs want.
They can want it, but I think that it's a bit unfair to label it title or bust for a team that we didn't have championship expectations for coming into this season. We thought they would be good. We didn't know they would be this good. And because of their youth.
You thought that.
Well, a lot of people did. And you're right. I was one of those people, but a lot of people did. I wasn't alone. A vast majority of folks were not talking about the San Antonio Spurs on that level. They considered them a year away or two because of their youth, not because of their talent. And so to see Mitch Johnson coaching his butt off, being one of the great young coaches in the game, to see Castle and Vassell and Harper, Ron Harper's got to be very, very proud watching his son play because Dylan Harper can ball, make no mistake about it. All right, to watch that and his growth and his maturation take fold, to see De'Aaron Fox still doing what he's capable of doing, etc. You're looking at the San Antonio Spurs, and certainly there's championship expectations now because we recognize the greatness of Wembanyama is unparalleled. We haven't seen anything like this before. All true, but that's not what we anticipated coming into this season. So I think they're ahead of schedule. They're championship contenders. We all know it. The likelihood is that they will be in the conference finals because we expect them to win one of these potentially next 2 games against the Minnesota Timberwolves and getting to the conference finals. And if you were to lose to the Oklahoma City Thunder, the reigning defending NBA champions, there's certainly no shame in that because we see what's coming forth down the road. I understand what your point is. They're there now. I get it. I'm just saying if they get to the conference finals and lose to OKC, I am not going to call this season a bust for the San Antonio Spurs. They've had a very, very successful season if they get to the conference finals.
Well, for me, I have to take a piece of both of y'all and say, man, valid points. But for me, always, life is about trajectory. Are you on the right train at the right time and you don't get derailed or you don't get off too early?
Preach.
And right now, the San Antonio Spurs are on the right train, the right track, with the right speed and the right trajectory. And we talk about what Wembanyama's doing, but we're saying that these guys have made themselves, Fox, Castle, and Harper, the best trio backcourt in the NBA. Is that the trajectory we saw them at the beginning of the season? No. We said it could be, but they are moving at a pace faster than we expected. Then you add Vassell in it, and you add all the other elements. You add even Harrison Barnes comes into the game and gives you quick buckets in here and there. They are on the right train, the right speed, and on the right track. So bust, maybe not, because all they have to do is stay on the train. And they have put themselves, and you talk about coaching, at no point, and we might have said Wemby could be there, we might have said the Spurs could be there, but we never said their coaching staff could get them there. This is the first time that we put in a trajectory saying, we believe in their coaching staff and what they're doing. So for me, this is stay on the mission. Don't get off the train. Steve, when you taking that train in New York, don't get off too early. Don't get off a stop too early.
Kenny, no. We ain't trying to get off in Newark, New Jersey. We ain't trying to do that.
Newark's coming up. Kenny, I'll just say one last thing. My perception of bus is warped because I'm sure it is for you too. The amount of times that you've had successful seasons and you knocked on the door and you haven't gotten all the way over the hump, you may have reflectively looked at it and say, you know what, that was a decent season. But in your mind, as a competitor,
oh yeah, you can get over the hump. No,
exactly.
Yeah, as a competitor, sure.
And I'll say with you, you're right, because they're going to look back and go, whoever wins it, if it's not them, they're going to go.
We had a chance.
That's it.
Better than them.
Well, let me say this.
Let
me say this real quick. Beyond this year, I think you could say title of the bus with the personnel that they have, the coaching that they have, and the experience they will have acquired with this run. But the one other important thing to mention is this. If you're anybody in the NBA, especially the Western Conference, this is your moment because San Antonio has sent the message. You ain't going to have too many of them in the future. If we have something to say about it, you better get it now because you ain't going to get it later.
That's right.
That's what San Antonio is saying.
We all have looked at their inexperience. Well, after this season, they're going to have that experience. So they can close it out tonight in Minnesota against the Timberwolves in a critical Game 6. All right, guys, thank you so much. Kenny, you're going to stick around with us. Let's recap our first call parlay. We have James Harden to score 20 or more points, Anthony Edwards to score 25 or more, and then Victor Wembanyama to go for 25 or more. A lot of point totals here. Those odds plus 341 for a parlay right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Coming up here on First Take, and what once seemed like a match made in heaven, is it fair to say LA has taken the king for granted? Folks here do not see eye to eye on that one. I don't even know if LeBron sees eye to eye with anyone on that one. Plus, it has been orange and blue skies for the Knicks. But find out why someone here will rain on Stephen A. and the Knicks fans parade. Don't miss that one.
Wembanyama has the ball a lot and is doing a lot. Wembanyama got 16 of their 24. Wemby's back. High archer is good. Took it and made it. Wow. 18-point hole they have dug out of. 2 feet for the dunk, 7 straight for the Spurs. 1 win from the Western Conference Finals.
Merci beaucoup, my friend.
What to watch for tonight? A pair of Game 6s in the NBA playoffs. In the West, the Spurs trying to finish off that series against the Timberwolves in Minnesota. In the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers will look to close out the 1-seed Pistons in Cleveland. The Cavs use a 9-0 run late in the fourth quarter to force overtime and win Game 5 in Detroit.